one time was so wild. Like I took the kids. I left and took the kids. We got in some kind of argument at Chipotle in Burbank, California. And it was over something really minor, but it was a buildup of things. And both the kids were in diapers. And I think we had just got married. So that was, I didn't remember what it was. It was the night Antonio Tarver knocked out Roy Jones. It was a Saturday. And I remember we got in this big argument at Chipotle. And I was so steaming. I had the kids with me. I went back to the house and grabbed a bunch of stuff out of the house and just started driving. And I remember I drove, we're living in L.A. I drove to Palm Springs, and we stopped at a Walmart, and I picked up like diapers, food, what I thought a couple games for the kids. And then we got to Phoenix, and that's where I got the hotel room in Phoenix. And that's when I remember I got us Residence Inn because they had a living room and a bedroom. And I remember I put Austin and Kenny in the bedroom. I slept in the living room. And that's when I remember I turned on ESPN, and that's when I saw Roy Jones got knocked out. I remember Charles Barkley. I remember this like yesterday. The Lakers were playing the Pistons that night. This is how good my memory is. The Lakers were playing the Pistons that night in the NBA Finals, and it was halftime of the game. And then I heard Barkley say, "Dang, Roy Jones got knocked out." And then I was like, "No way." And then I just remember I watched the end of the game, the Pistons and Lakers. And got up at like 4:30 in the morning so I could I figured I could get a couple hours on the road and the kids were still asleep. Because I remember I loaded them up we had this big excursion. I loaded them up in this excursion, and then we drove to El Paso, and I stopped at a Target in El Paso, and I remember Austin had a meltdown in the middle of Target. He was like, I was like, oh my God, I got to get out of here. We got a couple toys, and really I stopped to stretch your legs out. And then we ended up at a friend of mine's house in Dallas. So I remember I drove from L.A. to Dallas with one stop in Phoenix. And I think that's, if you look it up, it's like a 24-hour drive if you just go straight. And what I remember about that trip, there's a couple things I remember about that road trip. It's funny when something like that happens, you're leaving a relationship and you got these two kids. I got to be the only guy that leaves and takes my kids with me. Like I didn't leave her with the kids. I took them with me. And now looking back on it, there's some funny things that happened on that road trip and some not so funny things that was scary. I remember we was driving and I smelled something and my daughter Kenny dropped a deuce in her diaper. I was like, what stinks? And she's looking back there smiling at me. And then I remember I pulled over on the side of the highway in the middle of Texas somewhere. I'm talking nowhere because between El Paso and Dallas, there's not a lot. It's desert. And I pulled over, and it was like this rundown gas station that was closed. Nobody's around. And I don't think Austin was in diapers. No, Austin wasn't in diapers. Austin was 3, almost 3. I think it was 2.5, 3. So, because I remember Austin went to the back of this gas station and was peeing. And I said, just go over there and take a piss. So we standing up, and Austin would drop his shorts all the way to his ankles. So I just looked over, and there's my son, his little 3-year-old butt sticking out, looking back, taking a piss. And then I got the back of the excursion open. You know, SUVs are pulled down the tailgate, and I'm changing her diaper, and I looked, and there was a car coming down the road, not the highway, the side road. And it was literally out of a movie. It was a beat-up bucket, like an Oldsmobile Cutlass or something. And there was just dust coming. And I go, Austin, come on. And he looked at me. I go, come on. And he pulled his pants up, came running up. I put Kenny in the car seat with no diaper on, just threw the dirty diaper aside, and we took off. Like, I don't know who those people were. I don't know if anything was going to happen. I just was like, we got to go. And we couldn't risk it. And we just take off. And then I also remember about that trip is I had the Spider-Man movie on DVD, and that's what we watched the entire drive over and over and over again. I think I memorized them. The one with Tobey Maguire, William Dafoe, that one, the first one. And I just remember after the movie would end, that video would come on Hero. There's a hero to save us. I'm not going to stand here today. Oh, my kids, that the movie would end, that video would come on, and then my daughter would be like, Dad, play it again. And then I look back, and then the video would end, and it goes, Dad, and then we just play it. For like hours, it seemed like that song would be played. And the good thing is I like the song, but they were just intrigued by it. Like, and then as soon as they were, Dad, play it again. And we played it. And then I remember I went to my friend Loretta's house, and I was friends with her whole family. And we stayed there, and I ended up calling Kenya. This was Saturday. I called Kenya Monday morning and just told her, like, you know, this is crazy. I'm not happy. Things like that. The same, like, kind of things you say, and when you don't want to be married anymore. And then she ended up flying out to Dallas, and we ended up hanging out for like 3-4 days with just us and the kids. And then she flew back with the kids to L.A., and then I said, I need some time to figure out if I want to stay in this relationship. And then I stayed in Dallas another week. And then I had to, not a week, but like 3-4 days. But then I had to drive the excursion back.